Welcome back to the channel, guys. And this week is the debut of something new that I'm doing on this channel. It's called Fiyin'S Final Take, where I recap all the events of the past footballing weekend, specifically the Premier League. But if anything happens in other big 5 European leagues that are interesting, or the Champions League, we'll also talk about those as well. But we're close to 250 subscribers. I want to get there before the month of August ends. So please, guys, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and comment your thoughts on the weekend that we just witnessed in football. So we'll start with the Premier League. And the Arsenal-Man United game, or the Man United-Arsenal game, because Man United were the home team. I saw a lot of things from both teams that I liked, but I also severely disliked. I'll start with Man United. Man United were great going forward in this game. They were attacking, they were aggressive. Cunha and Mbeumo have shown that just having attacking players with pace and strength, technique, will get you very far in this league. Yes, they didn't score, but that's more credit to kind of who Arsenal are as a defensive team. They don't give you too many high-quality chances over a course of 90 minutes. Play this way against a bottom half team, you're gonna win 9 times out of 10. You just are. Play against Wolves or Everton or Leeds or West Ham like this, you will win those games. I can guarantee that. 20 shots, no goals. Every Man United has the right to be frustrated with what they saw in terms of not scoring or getting something out of that game. Also, in my opinion, we're very lucky. But we know with Arsenal, they're a defensive-minded team. They're strong defensively. It's going to be hard to beat Arsenal in a lot of games. Okay? They have to basically open themselves up and let you attack them for you to get a lot of goals against them. But that said, Man United should have scored this game. 20 plus shots, you need to score. I don't want to hear anything about, oh, Arsenal are strong this, Arsenal are strong that. Yes, they are, but you still need to score. And what hampered Man United was, I think, a weak lineup. I maybe not so weak to start the game, but weak in terms of how he managed his substitutions. I remember that is. Ahmad, in my opinion, start him. Start Ahmad that game. Why not? It's not like Martinelli is the best left winger in the world. Start Ahmad. If you're going to start Casemiro, take him off, but bring on Menu if you're chasing the game. Don't bring on Ugarte, who's a worse attacking option than Casemiro. He's probably just the worst player in general. No disrespect to him, but let's just call a spade a spade. Okay, Dogu was great down the left, really impressive. De Ligt was great on Gyökeres, really impressive. Bruno was decent in the midfield. Mbeumo and Cunha probably could have scored a goal between them. But why is Mason Mount playing as much as he did? After the first half, just take him off and bring on Sesko. He's not going to give you anything unique, anything special. He's not going to win any duels. He's not going to score. That's not a Mason Mount indictment. He's not a 9 indictment. He's not a forward. He's not a striker. Bring on just the striker you spent money on. I don't care if he hasn't had a long preseason. Bring him on. Who's calling me? Whatever. Bring him on. Okay? From an Arsenal perspective, they cannot continue playing to protect 1-0 leads or protect 2-1 leads. You're playing for the Premier League title. Attack teams, especially teams that did not have a good season last season, who have not proven themselves to be a top team. Attack them. What is this mentality that you go 1-0 up off a fluke goal? Well, let me not say fluke, but off a goalkeeping error, and you just sit back? Like, score a genuine goal before you can even have the audacity to just sit back the whole game. Work your way through them. Saka, Odegaard, combined with Rice, play it into Gyökeres, a great finish. From my perspective, I can't sit back off of a goal like that. I don't want to sit back off of a 1-0 lead. I want 2-3 before I say, okay, comfortably, okay, let me now defend what I got. But that to me was just weak for Manchester, and it's a habit. Every time Arsenal get a lead or they seem comfortable in the game, they just sit back. They don't want to go for the other team's throat. They don't want to kill off the game. To me, that's not strong. That's weak. Guardiola would not do that. Klopp in his time was not doing that. Arne Slot does not do that. Hansi Flick, all these top managers, they don't do that. They continue going for more. If Arsenal want to win the league, they're going to have to go for more. And that's why I don't have them winning the league. Because it's not a mentality you just switch on. It's either you have it or you don't. And Arteta does not have a killer mentality. And he's what's going to stop this Arsenal team from winning this league, in my opinion. Because what I saw from other teams this weekend, my one takeaway is, look, Manchester United going forward will be better than last season. They'll score more goals. They'll be better on the eye. I think they're still pretty good defensively. Arsenal had nothing in that game. I know it was because they didn't really attack, but Man United were also very strong defensively in that game. From an Arsenal perspective, it's the same defensive. They're strong defensively, but going forward, man, they just don't have it. The patterns of play, the way they move the ball, the way they attack, they just don't create quality chances on a consistent basis. They're not a fun team to watch. Right now, I'd rather watch Liverpool, Chelsea, City, hell, maybe even Spurs before I watch Arsenal. It's just so robotic and just stale. But is it just game one, figuring out how Gyökeres fits in? I don't think it is, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's see how it is. Match day 5, match day 10, November, December. Let's see if anything's different. But I just don't see it being any different. So that's my United Arsenal. Liverpool, Bournemouth. I covered this. I had a specific video for this game, which I will do for every Liverpool game throughout the season. So I won't spend too much time breaking down kind of what happened in this game. But for the most part, the first half was all Liverpool. Dominant, as they usually will be in Anfield at the first half of a football game. The first goal, just a nice McAllister pass into Ekitike, and he's just opportunistic. He just knows how to dribble. He knows how to orient his body to get the ball where it needs to go. He gets a little bit lucky. Why the hell is Tyler Adams stopping defending, by the way, in that goal? Why did he just stop? If he kept going, he probably could have stopped Ekitike from scoring that goal. But it's a cool finish. And then Ekitike, again, finding space in the box, laying it off to Gakpo, Gakpo in the box is one of the best wingers in the Premier League. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care if they think he's not aesthetically pleasing. When it comes to him in the box, he's one of the most effective wingers in the Premier League. Hell, he might even be the most effective winger that's not Salah. He just knows how to score and create something every single time. Shimmy, fake, gets himself in between the goal, and from there, it's cash money, as it usually is with him. And then Liverpool just throw the game away. They just throw the game away. Szoboszlai with the ill-advised flick in the midfield, risky decision. The ball gets played to Brooks, it's a great first-time pass to Semenyo. And Semenyo in the box, that guy's a gun. He's a gunman, okay? And the second goal, that first goal, okay, I can understand how that kind of happens. Second goal is unforgivable. From a Liverpool midfield perspective, it's unforgivable. Why are Endo, Jones, Szoboszlai all bombing through the box? First of all, Endo, that's not your game. You're a defensive midfielder who does not have attacking qualities. Why are you bombing forward? Use your head in that situation. We lose the ball, and Semenyo just runs 60, 70 yards, whatever it was. And people are laughing and saying, oh, Van Dijk this, Van Dijk that. Van Dijk is covering the pass to Evanilson. Can my other center back please cover the ball carrier, or at least the left side? At some point, I see Konate doing the same job that Van Dijk is doing. Falls over, and he was terrible in that game. And he's looked pretty suspect for pretty much all preseason. I don't know if it's the move to Madrid that's kind of playing on his head, but I've not been impressed with him at all. Okay? Semenyo gets them back into the game. And Semenyo, credit to him, after what he was subject to that game with the racial abuse from that Liverpool fan, who I think I just read that he's been banned from all stadiums. I don't know if it's a lifetime ban, if it's that's true or not. If it is, I'm happy, because I said that he should be banned from all Liverpool games for the rest of his life. If it's true that he's getting banned from all games, even better. It make it easier for him to watch the games. Just sit on your couch and watch it from there. But Semenyo mentality, credit to him, gets back into the game, does what he does. He's just such a two-footed, talented player. Dribbling, strength, pace, shooting, he just has it all, and I'm surprised that he's gonna stay at Bournemouth, or he signed that contract. We'll see if he moves, but I'll be very surprised if someone doesn't come for him because he's that good. Okay, this is a guy that could be starting for Arsenal on the left wing. Semenyo is better than whoever you have. Chelsea on the left wing, he's better than whoever you have. Maybe not Liverpool, but who knows? But he's that good. He's a Champions League, Europa League quality footballer. And at this point, I'm watching the game. I'm just like, are we gonna throw this game away? A game that should have been pretty smooth sailing. And then Chiesa comes on and wins it. An incredible cross from Salah, who was awful the whole game until that point. A cross that you can't defend against. I think Petrovic tries his hardest. You see it late, you're thinking Jones is gonna touch it. He palms it up into the sky, and the technique from Chiesa is exceptional. Exceptional technique. Passionate knee slide. It was scenes, right? And then Salah gets his customary goal, just opportunistic hoof by I think Endo, hoofs it up, and he just chases it down. Does what he always does. I want a goal every opening day. Let me get a goal every opening day. Just an aggressive, passionate, optimistic footballer. And I love that he did. They all celebrated for Jota. It was a perfect tribute for Jota because it's the kind of game where, on the slide I had mentioned, it's the kind of game that I'll bring Jota on to win for me. And that's exactly what Chiesa was in the Jota role that game. That's the kind of goal that Jota would score for us in the past. So I'm happy that they did it for him. I'm happy in how it happened. And I'm especially happy that, at the end of the game, Salah kind of that emotional, just tribute to Jota and his brother. It was a great all-around day for Liverpool. It didn't go the way I wanted it to go, but it was a great ending to the day and the match as well. Now, Wolves Man City. This is usually a banker for Man City, right? And with Wolves losing Cunha, I didn't expect much from them going forward. But in that first half, Wolves were actually very positive in the way they attacked Man City. And I think this is a thing that a lot of teams are going to have to notice moving forward. This is not the Man City of old where you have De Bruyne and David Silva and Fernandinho monopolizing the ball. Yes, they have a lot of possession, but it's not as strong defensively of a team as they've been in the past. Aïnouri and Rico Lewis are not great defenders. Okay? They're not. So you can get at this team. And if not for Marshall Munetsi just being not a forward, basically, not knowing how to keep himself on side and just poor decisions by Wolves overall, they could have got a goal in that first half, honestly. But Man City do what they always do. They strangle teams. Okay? The first goal from Haaland, but Reinders is going to be one of the midfielders of the season. If he's fit and plays most of the season, this guy can be team of the season. He's that good. Driving with the ball, nice little shimmy, nice little side to side, gets past some defenders, lovely dink to Rico Lewis, easy tap in for Haaland. And then he gets his goal, Reinders that is, gets his goal right after. Yeah, I think maybe Jose Sá should have saved it. Jose Sá, by the way, is not a Premier League goalkeeper. I can't believe this guy is still in the league. He needs to be playing in the Portuguese league because this guy is, wow, shocking, really. And it was shocking, especially again for Haaland's goal. Reinders, great inside pass to Haaland, but saved the shot. Like, I'm not complaining because Haaland's my FPL, so I'm happy. But this guy is just so bad. I don't understand how he's still Wolves' keeper. But it is what it is. And then Ryan Cherky. A lovely flick around the corner. Gets it back by hook or by crook. Nice little step over and just into the corner. This guy is he's just so good. And for City to get him for as cheap as they got him and Reinders, man, I think a lot of teams are going to regret that decision. Because the way they looked that game, that's I want the Premier League, back in Manchester kind of game. That's what Pep was cooking. Pep is saying, I want the league back. We're going to play the kind of football that wins us the league again. So they're going to be challenging again for the league. From a Wolves perspective, I'm worried for them. If Strand Larson is really unfit or going to be unfit moving forward, where do the goals come from? Arias, will give you some of that you lost from Cunha. It's not quite as good, but he gives you a lot of the similar characteristics. But they need goals. They need something, because you're not going to be able to rely on that defense or that keeper. So you're going to need goals. You're going to need to get stuck into games and kind of find your way through games. Yes, it's Man City, so I'm not going to hold this against them. When they play against any of the outside of the top 6 teams, they're capable of winning games. Okay, the way he set them up, the way they kind of played that first half, shows me that they're capable of staying up and winning games. Man City's perspective is going to be another Holland season. I can just feel it. The way Reinders wants to progress the ball, the way Shirky can find a pass, the way Oscar Bob was moving that first half, Holland's going to get 30 goals if he stays fit. Like, that's my take of the maybe it's not a hot take because it's Holland, but 30 goals, I can see him getting that. Great performance from Man City, and I can see more coming from them as the season progresses. Chelsea, Crystal Palace. Before I say anything, look, Crystal Palace are one of those teams that against a top team, they will provoke you. You're not gonna leave that game smiling. Even if you win, you're gonna be like, damn, that was just so hard. And that's what Crystal Palace will always do to teams. That said, Chelsea had chances. Specifically, André Santos, Esteval had a chance as well. They had chances to win this game. And my qualm with Chelsea is it's a lot of young talent, it's a lot of attractive talent, but when it comes down to the nitty-gritty, are they going to be relied upon to score goals? Right? We saw Nick Jackson miss a lot of chances last season. Liam Delap, yes, he played good for Ipswich Town last season, but he's not a bona fide goal scorer. And neither is João Pedro. And he got y'all. All of you that put João Pedro in your FPL, I have known what this guy has been his whole career. Right? Yes, he had a decent season last season. There's a lot of penalties though. He's not a prolific goal scorer. He's not a prolific number 9. Okay? For example, he's not going to give you the kind of goals that I would expect from someone like Holland, for someone like Gyökeres, for someone like Sesko, Ekitike. He's not that prolific of a goal scorer. I'm not saying Ekitike and Sesko are prolific, but they're number 9s. João Pedro is more of a 10 left winger hybrid kind of second striker supporting. That's his bag. Okay, Liam Delap. Let's see what happens with him, but he's not really a proven finisher either. So after all of this, it might still end up having to be the Cole Palmer show. He was anonymous, and Cole Palmer, a lot of times, guys, a lot of periods throughout the season, he goes missing, doesn't really do much, and then he has a great game, and then he kind of goes back to, but that's just his mentality. The kind of way he plays football is languid, kind of just casual, but you can't do that, right? Like, you can't do that as the best player in a Premier League winning team. De Bruyne doesn't do that. Salah didn't do that. You know, if you go back in time to the older days, Aguero didn't do that. Rooney didn't do that. Okay? Drogba, Lampard didn't do that. You can't just be casual on the pitch for the entire season. You gotta be more aggressive. You gotta have more oomph in your game throughout the season. You can't just save it for finals, which credit to him, he played one in the finals that Chelsea played. But you can't do that over a 38 game season. Your team needs more from you. You're the talisman of the team. So you need to do more. But Chelsea, they created enough chances to win that game. It's just the finishing is not there. And when your best player isn't doing it, somebody has to step up and support. When Salah was poor against Bournemouth, Ekitike stepped up. Gakpo stepped up. Chiesa stepped up. Then that will continue to be the theme with Liverpool if he doesn't step up. With Chelsea, if Cole Palmer doesn't step up, who will step up? Because last season there was no one stepping up, and we saw them fall away throughout the season. Crystal Palace, again, great performance against a top 6 side. We'll see if they're able to keep Guehi and Eze. It seems like both are out the door. Let's see what happens with that. But without those two, I think they lose a lot and they struggle a lot moving forward this season. But I'm optimistic that even if they lose both of them, they're still better than most of the teams at the bottom. Tottenham Hotspur, Burnley. Now, Tottenham really impressed me, okay? And specifically, Kudus and Richarlison. Richarlison, I think he has to start next game. I know Solanke was the big money signing, but he's proven that he can deserve to start the next game. Kudus on that right wing, we saw it in the Supercup how he ran Nuno Mensch ragged. That's what Kudus will do to basically every left back in the league. He's stronger than you, and he's likely faster than you. He's too technical. He's too quick. He can pick too many passes. He can strike the ball. He's just too good for him to not dominate most left backs moving forward this season. Okay? The goals, the quality of goals from Spurs were incredible. Which Kudus, 2 right-footed crosses, which is very impressive. You don't see that too often from left-footed players who are comfortable able to put in the ball with their right foot. Which also 2 great finishes. The first one, a low side foot swivel finish, and then the second one, kind of it's not really a bicycle kick, but kind of like a half bike into the corner of the goal. He played an incredible game. Okay, and then bringing on. I think Brandon Johnson actually started the game, but being able to bring on, hopefully in the future, Kulusevski, maybe Savinho comes in. Obviously, Solanke can come on as well. They have attacking options, okay? And Thomas Frank, we know, can set up his team defensively well to be able to get things out of games. So I'm interested to see how the dynamic of... And they have a pretty deep team as well. Pretty balanced team. Pretty talented team. They need to get a lot of players fit again. And if we can really see a good Spurs side. Okay? Burnley's perspective is Burnley. Every time they come up, I'm confident they're going back down. And that game showed me nothing different. I didn't say anything from Burnley to suggest that they're going to be any more impressive than they were the last time they were up. The strong defense that they built themselves on was kind of undone with ease. And I know there were some incredible goals that you won't really see people score every single week, but still, they haven't shown me anything to suggest that they're staying up. And the less said about Burnley, the better. But Spurs are definitely going to be contending for European places. I want to see how the Champions League affects them. But this game, the control they had, the dominance they had, in terms of the goal scoring aspect of the game, because Burnley had a lot of shots, they had a lot of chances as well. Okay, where the goal coming from for Burnley, I don't know, but I never felt like they would score that game. So I want to see where the goals are coming from, because are you going to be relying on Ashley Barnes and Jay Rodriguez and Lyle Foster, and I just don't see it. Okay, so that's my kind of take from that game. Spurs will challenge for European places. Burnley, I cannot see how they stay up. Prove me wrong, but I can't see how they stay up. Speaking of staying up, Sunderland, West Ham. Sunderland looked incredible. All the promoted teams coming up, they looked, they play at home at least. They looked very, 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 very good. Sunderland were the pick of the bunch. And for West Ham, you have too many good players to perform like this. Graham Potter, you got till December, maybe even before that. I'm so unimpressed by this guy as a manager. He was getting so much hype at Brighton from the XG merchant, the nerds that watch football on a stat sheet. Oh, look how much possession they have. Look how many passes Lewis Dunk is making. Bro, play football to win games, to score goals, to attack. All this possession BS, it doesn't do anything for me. And that's kind of what he's just so unimpressive as a manager. His stint at Chelsea, unimpressive. Stint so far at West Ham, unimpressive. I look at players like Jared Bowen, Paqueta. These guys should be playing for European places, teams. Not slumming it out at West Ham, struggling for 15th, 16th every season. Which I think is what's going to happen. There's like an identity crisis. How do you want to play football? Do you want to be an attacking team? Do you want to be a defensive team? Because it seems like they don't have an identity in that team. From a Sunderland perspective, I said that they might go down, but if any team were to stay up from the promoted teams, it would be them because they made some great signings. Xhaka, great signing. Adingra, very good signing for a bottom half kind of team. But my main guy, Daniel Ballard, this guy, wow, his last 6 months has been incredible. I can remember, I think it was against Coventry in the playoff semifinal that he scored in the 120th minute or 22nd minute, whatever it is. This guy's a warrior. This guy's a Premier League. This is a Barclays Premier League defender who will put his body on the line, who will win every aerial duel, who will bang in 5 headers every season. That's the kind of player this guy is. And that's all that Sunderland were doing, just scoring off headers, basically the whole game. Maenda, I think is his name. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but the number 12, the striker for Sunderland, great header, far corner. Ballard as well, great header, far corner. And then the third goal from I think Isidore saved that. Hermansen. There was all this talk about how he's gonna leave Leicester, he's gonna go, stay in the Premier League, and he's gonna be a great goalkeeper. That was not a great goalkeeping display today at all, or that game at all. They need more from him. That was poor. Okay? But Sunderland, look, if they take care of these kind of teams throughout the season, they can confidently stay up. Not confidently, but I have a good chance that they can stay up because they have a lot that excites me. I spoke about Wolves. Sunderland excites me more than Wolves. Okay? Sunderland are a Barclays Premier League team. They're a Premier League Stadium of Light. That's where you go to watch football. Teams like that. So they have the pedigree, from a club standpoint to stay in. They have the fans, and they've now signed quality players to where they can stay up. Genuinely, they can stay up, and I want them to stay up. Okay, because there's so many teams in this league that are stale. I don't want to keep seeing them in the league anymore. Sunderland and Leeds, okay, stay up. Burnley, nah, I don't really have any desire to see Burnley in the Premier League ever again. After week 1, can we just relegate them back to the Championship now? They don't excite me at all. They never have in the Premier League. So, Sunderland, great performance from them. West Ham, troubling. Very worrying. I think for the team that they have, bring in an attack-minded manager with an identity. Utilize the likes of Bowen and Paqueta. Those two alone, you have more talent in those two alone than Wolves have going forward, than Everton have going forward. That you have more talent in the attacking end of the pitch than a lot of these teams, but you never show it. And I think it's a Potter issue. But let's see what West Ham look like moving forward. But Sunderland, great performance. Villa, Newcastle. Now Newcastle destroyed Villa this game. They dominated them the entire game. But kind of what we saw with Man United last season, you don't have a goal scorer. With Isak gone, it's so glaring how much they relied on Isak. Because with him not in the team, I can see no goals coming from this team. And it's funny because I say that when they play Liverpool next week, I just guarantee you they'll score 3 goals. But for this game, the amount of possession chances that they created, you have to win that game. You simply have to win that game. Now, let me just look at the stats real quick. Newcastle are a team that will dominate a lot of teams in terms of physicality, in terms of maybe in possession as well, because of who they have with Tonali and Guimaraes in the midfield, right? You have great kind of technical players, great players with pace, and specifically Elanga and Anthony Gordon, Harvey Barnes as well. Take off Elanga, you bring in Jacob Murphy. You have so much pace and power in that team. But you don't have a number 9. You don't have a guy that can put the ball in the back of the net. And I was in California for this game. I woke up at 4:30 to kind of watch it and see what these teams would look like. It was so unimpressive as a game. It was so unimpressive because Newcastle, where are the goals coming from if Isak leaves or when Isak leaves? He's not playing again for Newcastle. So where are the goals coming from? I think Callum Wilson has gone to, is it Burnley? So Osula's, from what I'm seeing here, Osula's the number 9. That's not a number 9. So no disrespect to him, but I have never seen him to be a prolific scorer in the Premier League. I can't rely on him. Brentford are trying to block Wissa's move. There goes your goals. Maybe Gonzalo Ramos can come in and score some goals for them, but man, where are the goals coming from? If they cannot sign a number 9 that can score goals, Newcastle will not go anywhere. They will not finish higher than they did last season. They will struggle to win games. It's not like they have this kind of impenetrable defense where they can just hold teams out. No, you don't have that. So you need goals. Aston Villa were nothing short of pathetic that game. They showed nothing. And that midfield of Tielemans, Onana, and Kamara, that cannot be a midfield that you go into games with again. It doesn't do any. It's too much redundancy in that midfield. Because what Onana can give you, I think Kamara gives you that, but better, going forward. It's too similar of, I think it's Tielemans and Onana, Tielemans and Kamara, depending on the team you're playing against. Maybe if you're playing against Liverpool or Man City, where you want to kind of sit in a little bit more and soak up a little bit more pressure, you can play that midfield. But not when you're playing a team of equal kind of caliber, of equal standing to you. Attack them. Bring in players and attack them. Bring in attacking players and attack them. We saw nothing from Morgan Rogers, who I think was their best player last season. Ollie Watkins didn't really give much. John McGinn was decent. But it's going to be the same kind of thing with these teams. Impressive one week, extremely unimpressive the next week. The inconsistencies will just continue. And I don't know if Watkins kind of had his eye on a move, maybe to United, maybe to Newcastle or whatever, but it's gone stale for him. Ever since last season when John Moran kind of snatched his chain, it's gone stale for him. So these teams is just reeking of 6th, 7th, 8th place. Not because they're so good, but I just don't see too many teams challenging them for those spots. Thoroughly unimpressive game. I will never again wake up at 6:30 to watch a game like that and watch the whole thing. I will go back to sleep at 30 minutes. I was not impressed at all with that game. The less said about it, the better. So let's just move on. Brighton Fulham. Actually, this is a similar game. This is a very, very similar game. Both those games, thoroughly unimpressed. I can't look at those games and be like, oh yeah, this is something that I'm just not impressed at all. What are these teams? It's the beginning of the season, so let's not be too harsh. But man, where are the goals coming from for Brighton? Where are they coming from? Raul Jimenez looks past it already, and yes, he's had his injury issues. Yes, he's had his kind of shortcomings and setbacks. So I can understand it. But for both of these teams, I'm trying to see where the goals come from, because the build-up play, the play, kind of before 30 yards, towards the goal, they look like very, very good teams. Brighton in possession look like very, very good, a very, very good team. But you're not relying on Jorginho Rutter to be your number 9. You're not relying on Daniel Welbeck, who I know scores 10 goals every season, but no, it's not enough. And too many of these teams in the Premier League, too many of these teams have great, approach play players that will do very well leading up to the attack. But when it comes down to scoring, a lot of these teams, they don't strike me as consistent goal scoring teams. And that's kind of what the Brighton Fulham game was. Brighton take the lead. I want to say it was Matt O'Reilly's penalty that kind of gave them the lead. Rutter did well to win that penalty. And then they did nothing the rest of the game. Until Fulham just grew into the game, put pressure, and then Rodrigo Muniz with a great finish actually from the corner. A great left-footed first-time finish into the corner. A great finish. But there's really nothing to write home about the game. Really nothing too impressive, really nothing too special, unique to talk about. So let's just move on. Forest Brentford, though, I think was one of the better games without a top 6 team involved. Probably the best game that didn't involve a top 6 side. Brentford. Forest were great again, and Forest at home are going to be great. Chris Wood, again, this guy might be the most efficient striker in the Premier League. Not I'm saying he's the best, but this guy will take 2 shots and score 2 goals. 2 shots and score 1 goal. His shot to goal ratio is like efficient as hell. Takes his chance very well. The first goal, I love the little just I don't even know what you call that technique, but on the volley, just kind of like. I think that's the kind of way and just puts it into the goal. Great finish. And then the second goal from Dan Ndoye, who I talked about as being a great signing from Bologna. Great in that Coppa Italia win against, was it Milan? I'm trying to remember every single league right now, but I think it was against Milan. But he was great in that final, and then a great goal. Kind of what you're gonna get with Dan Ndoye. Great approach play, great 2-footedness, great dribbling, and can give you goals. Right? That's the kind of goal that you're not gonna see. You wouldn't have seen Elanga score it. You're not gonna see Hudson Ndoye score it. He gives them a different dimension. Just a beautiful header, just floats beautifully into that corner. Great goal. And then Chris Wood again. This guy, he reads the mistake. Elliot Anderson, what a pass, by the way. Elliot Anderson, if you don't have him in your FPL, get him now. What a freaking pass into the path that Chris Wood rounds the keeper, puts it in, and then Brentford get a penalty. They get a goal back, but Brentford, man, I feel so bad for Kelleher because he went to Brentford at the worst possible time when the whole team just got gutted out and snatched from him. He's gonna be able to prove that he's a great goalkeeper now because they're gonna suffer a lot this season. I think they're just gonna suffer a lot. Forest, it's a great performance, but it's against Brentford, who I don't really expect too much from. I want to see how they do kind of against the better teams like they did last season, how they performed so well. I want to see more of that from Forest moving forward, but great performance from them, and I can see them making a sneakily challenging for a European spot. We'll see how it goes for them. I think they're in the Europa League this season, so we'll see how it goes for them. But great from Brentford, from Forest. Sorry. Lastly, Leeds, Everton, and I have nothing to say about Everton. Moyes' ball is terrible. Is a terrible watch. They're thoroughly unimpressive to watch. It's boring. It's lackadaisical. It was a terrible lineup that he put out. No attacking threat at all for the whole game. Leeds just dominated them. Leeds at Ellen Road. Yes, it's the first game back in the Premier League, back in the big time, and they just dominated. Nonto was great. Daniel James, he kind of got watered out, towards the end of the game. But while he was on, he was great. Joao Perot, a guy that I liked in the Championship last season, great. He gives me Rodrigo vibes. Remember when Rodrigo was Leeds number 10? Or was he 11? I think it was 10. But he kind of has that same exact play style. False 9, drop deep, link up play, great left foot, can just do a little bit of everything. Kind of their Firmino, kind of their who's another false 9 that can kind of João Pedro, that kind of mold of a player. I think he's going to do a lot of great things for them this season. So he was really good. But Everton, man, Everton are just so poor to watch. It's just nasty. It's nasty football. And I would assume that now with Njai, Grealish, hopefully McNeil when he's fit on the right, whoever you want to put up top, I want to see more of Barry. But you can play more of an attacking-minded game. Play even Dewsbury Hall and Garner as a 2, possibly. But just play something more interesting, more effective, like more. How can you get dominated by Leeds? I mean, yes, it's their first game back. They're at home, but put up a fight, do something. It was just pathetic to watch, honestly. But credit to Leeds, they deserve that win completely. And I had them going down, but I like to see more promoted teams stay up, and more of these stale Premier League teams just kind of fade away. But some other interesting things that happened this past weekend. Mallorca-Barcelona game. 2 red cards for Mallorca. Now, the first red card, I understand it. It's a second yellow card. It's a foul. Lamine Yamal is running towards goal. He clips him. That's a yellow card. Especially as he's getting closer to the box, edge of the box, about to shoot, score, whatever. That's a yellow card. The second red card, where Murici kicks Juan Garcia in the head. That's kind of a red card too. Like I can't really fault the referee for either of those decisions. Now the goal that Ferran Torres scores, where Lamine Yamal strikes the ball, and I think it's Valiant or whoever the defender is, that he heads the ball. Yes, it smacks him in the head, and it's probably a head injury. He's probably a little dazed and confused, but the referee could have stopped the play. He could have stopped the play. I understand why he didn't, because it's not your typical head injury where you clash heads or the ball smacks you and you don't expect it. Like, he headed the ball. He hit him in the forehead. So it's not really the same thing as a head injury if the ball were to smack you in the temple, or if a player were to hit you in the temple, or you fell on your head. It's not the same scenario. So I could understand why the referee didn't stop the play. But from Mallorca's perspective, why would you stop playing? Why do you think the play stops if you just stop playing? Play to the whistle. Ferran Torres, credit to him, kept playing and scores the goal. But after the 2 red cards, the game was done. There's nothing left to watch in the game, and I just stopped watching. It wasn't until I heard the Lamine Yamal scored, and then I went to watch the highlights of the second half, but nothing really happened. They're just dominating the game, playing around, having fun with it. But Lamine Yamal, I know it only took 8 shots before he finally scored, but he's really showing what he did from the 2025 in January. He's going to continue doing that the rest of the season. He's aggressive as hell. He's not. I would have liked to see him get subbed out, kind of bring in Rooney Bargi and see what he's about, especially against 9 men, because you're not going to get too many chances where you're going to have 9 men on the pitch. But I think with Barcelona, you're going to score enough goals. You're going to have the lead enough times where you can take Yamal off at the 60th minute, bring in Bargi. You don't want to wear down his legs. We've seen it too much with Pedri, with Gavi, with Ansu Fati. You don't want to see it again with Yamal. So as the season progresses, bring in more of the other attacking options. Rashford came on. Ferran Torres started. We'll see Lewandowski come in as well. They just have options. Firmino came off. Daniel came on. So they have 2 guys basically for every position. And they're going to be a dangerous team moving forward. And I have them win La Liga. Let's see what Real Madrid can do in their match later on this week. But again, exceptional from Barcelona as usual. The German Supercup, Stuttgart versus Bayern Munich. I kind of expected it to go one way, but Bayern Munich dominated the game for the most part. Stuttgart has some chances here and there. Voltemade, who I really like, lanky 6'6", Peter Crouch built type of player, but with so much technique. Actually, Peter Crouch has technique as well. Let me not disrespect Peter Crouch, but links up play really well. They have some tidy players. Stiller's still there. I thought he would move to Madrid or maybe even Liverpool, but he's still there. They have some good players, but Bayern do what they do against German teams. They win. And the goals were so good. The Harry Kane goal, Olise plays the ball in. I can't remember who the center back was, but he makes an error. Rather than just letting the ball go out of play, he saves it for Harry Kane, who on the volley edge of the box smacks it into the corner. That's the kind of finish that only a handful of players in world football can replicate. The likes of Harry Kane, the likes of Lewandowski, the likes of Haaland. Those are the kind of goals that only they really score and can score on a consistent basis. So great goal from them, from Bayern. Stuttgart kept pushing. There was an amazing save where where a Stuttgart player, Leveling, I think it's Jamie Leveling, he strikes the ball and it takes a wicked deflection, and Neuer just reacts and kind of cat reflexes that we know him to have. But Stuttgart kept pushing. It didn't really come to anything. But Luis Diaz gets his goal. Cross comes in from Gnabry on the right. Diaz heads, and Diaz is a great header of the ball. We saw it sometimes with Liverpool last season, and before that, he just wins headers and he scores headers, right? Trent's crosses, Salah's crosses, whoever, he wins headers and he scores headers. So I expect a big season from him with Musiala down injured. I want to see him do well. I want to see him get 30 GA, 40 GA, whatever it is, and just run that league ragged, because I wish Luis Diaz the best. But Bayern start off the season with a great win, strong win against a strong team in the Bundesliga. So credit to them. Lastly, we'll just touch on PSG, kind of because they're the main team in France. When Monaco and when Monaco plays, we'll talk about them a little bit more, because I want to see how Pogba and all those guys do. But PSG is the only team in world football that can really just rest 5 Ballon d'Or nominees and still win the game. I mean, yes, they won the game on a fluky Vitinha, shot outside the box, deflected in, but still, that's PSG, the only team that can do that. Like, you cannot rest Mbappe, Yamal, Rafinha, Vinicius, Haaland, Salah. You can't rest like your main attackers in those leagues. You just can't do it. But they have the luxury of doing that. Kind of struggle to make things click. I think if they started Kvaratskhelia, Dembele, Doué, all those guys in the start, it probably would have been a more smooth sailing game against Nantes. But to be fair, the last 3 times they played against Nantes, it hasn't been smooth sailing either. So they're not a team that typically runs Nantes over in recent history. So credit to Nantes holding out, but PSG do what they always do. They dominate and they win games in the French league. So that's the first Fiyin'S final take of the season. I'm excited to just dive in more as the season progresses. Do more research. Obviously, as the other leagues start next week, I won't cover all 10 Premier League games, right? I'm not gonna, like, if Burnley and Leeds play, I'm not covering that game. Let's just be honest. So as those kind of teams and leagues start off, I will reduce the teams that I talk about in the Premier League. Still keep the content going, but try to focus some attention as well on, if Juve are playing Milan, let's recap that a little bit. If Inter are playing Napoli, recap that a little bit. So I'm excited for the season to really kick off, and I'm excited to just give out more content to you guys, put out more content to you guys. If you're new to the channel, obviously subscribe. We're going to 250 subscribers before the month of August ends. Like this video, leave your comments below on everything. I put the chapters in here so you guys can kind of break down each topic or each game and leave your thoughts in. See you very soon, and thanks for watching this video. Have a blessed day.